Hi guys, it's Mike. I'm back with user stash number 6. Let's use up some sequins. Yeah, I don't think I even made a dent, but this is the card that I made. And it's quite long footage, so feel free to skip ahead if you want. At first I pulled out all kinds of window dies that I have. And also some seaweed and plenty bits that could be seaweed. So I think in the end I'm using... I just think just some foliage, but it looks like seaweed, so I don't care. And this, I like this. It's too small for my stamped image, and also too intricate because you know it's very busy in the background. So instead, I'm using 2 nesting dies, and when you cut them together, you get a frame. Of course, you see, this is all sorts of brands, and again, it's about what you have. I pulled out branches, or I think ferns as well, that didn't cut very well. I didn't use it. And here's my frame, and in hindsight maybe I could have done a bit of a thicker frame, but I used the 2 biggest ones. So I like this as a rim, but it posed a few problems. And this is scrap, so there was a smudge, I threw that away now. I've used all I can of it, I think. And double-sided tape, of course, as usual, and acetate. This see, I used a thinner one, which of course is impossible to get around those corners. And the foam tip actually went around the corner no problem, but this one, that's fine. I mean, the acetate doesn't contain anything. It's just very aesthetic-y and sticky. But yeah, as I said, I'm using Crafter's Companion sequins because I have a really big bag of them, and I have them in white and in teal. And I actually just came across them when I was using some glitter, I believe, and I found the iridescent one, and I also have them in teal. I think it's still in with my sequins or my glitter because I wasn't in my sequins box. A bit more scraps because I need to make a lid, which is easier. So I'm just marking it with a pencil and then cut it roughly, and then I will trim it when needed. I mean, if you put it on askew, you might have to trim off more anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but this gives you an idea where you have to put the ink blending and how big it is, so that's quite handful. And in hindsight, maybe I could have used the biggest nesting die, but I didn't check because it leaves a stitched or dotted detail on the outside and on the inside. I think it cuts anyway, so this was the best option. Maybe I did it automatically without checking. Yeah. Who knows? But I have to say, I did speed up most of the footage, about 3 times my normal speed, because it was an hour long. And yeah, the ink blending, that's not very eventful. But I used chipped sapphire, if you're interested, Paris ribbon, salty ocean, and toppled glass for my sea or ocean. And then I splattered it with water, which is kind of mandatory for the bubbles. And dabbed it off with a kitchen towel, and then put it on my radiator, which is next to me, so it could dry. It's very handy. Didn't have that in my old house. Not well, actually, I had radiators, of course, but not really wide ones I could put stuff on. Just the skinny ones. They didn't heat up anything. And the same with the acetate. I cut it with the scissors. And then I trimmed the bit that I have left. I can still use it, but the wonky bits I trimmed that off and threw that away. Sometimes you have to say goodbye. Sometimes I try to use, things that would otherwise be trash. See, even with the anti-static dryer sheets, it's still really clingy. But this is how it would look on a card, and I kind of like it. And there's some images that I've previously stamped and cut out, and there, by the way, the frames were Nelly Snelle. These are also Nelly Snelle. I don't have shares in that company, I will just say, but they just ended up like that. This is from Action, Avec or Love to Craft, I believe, but they were too big. I didn't like them. I did pull them out, and then I came across these from Deco Time and Marianne Design. I liked them more, but this one wasn't colored, and I thought if I tried to even ink blend on that little skinny, nope. And I got more than I needed because I would have choice. And this one is from Craft Emotions, the Camino, this watercolor piece of paper, but they're two the same ones, and I thought that's not very nice, so I went for the Deco Time under the water fern leaves. I mean, it could be, it is seaweed, so a bit more scraps. The other one wasn't big enough. And here I will ink blend all of it so I can decide where to die cut, and I pulled out all kinds of greens. I started with peacock feathers, and it turned out to be too blue in my opinion. So I go over it with twisted citron and mowed lawn, and there's some pine needles. I don't think I used shabby shutters. I did pull it out. It's pine needles. Sorry, it's not in the screen, but I can tell which colors they are just by looking at them. Lucky Clover, mowed lawn, and then I thought, yeah, I'll just cover all of it, and I want some variation, like it, leaves might have, but just not, realistic or anything. And this is some dried up liquid stardust from Longful, but I thought maybe I can reactivate it. It kind of did. And I wanted some bigger splatters, so I do clean off this bit. And I put some more on it. Later. Turns out it dropped on its side, and there's all kinds of, look, all of it in a lid. That's not good. But yeah, maybe a bigger brush would have made bigger splatters, but I do want it to be there as a shimmer, but faint, because with the shaker, with the background, it is ombre effect, and also the leaves and the diver. I thought it would be very busy. So my foam tape, I'm showing you this off camera, but my usual foam tape isn't as thick, and if I had to layer that 3 times in a skinny, I think I would have gone insane. But now I just cut it in half, and I thought that would be skinny enough. It turns out it wasn't. So I have to cut it again, and I will do that off camera because it's a bit of a pain. Turns out this foam tape goes around the corner even with the release paper still on there, which usually doesn't. So if you want to go around curvy shapes, take off the papery backing. And it was too long, and then it was too short. This is silly, but I just put a little plug in there. Make sure it doesn't show. I think you can still see it because it's so skinny, but it's okay. Here's my image, also traditionally called High Buddy, and I'm coloring it with a mix of markers. And my friend already picked it up. I showed her the picture and she said, "Oh, I want it." And I changed the trunks from hydrangea purple into tealish blue as well. But you won't see that because it's already gone. I'll turn on the music and I'll let you enjoy the coloring, and I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. It's really cute. I made the fur behind the goggles lighter, so it looks like he has glasses. I didn't put a shimmer in, I forgot actually. Now I look at it again and I think, oh. And yeah, this my stash of sequins. And I think I have to make 1000 of these shaker cards just to get rid of them. But I think I want to make more shaker cards in the future. And I'm looking if I have anything that I want to use, but I settled up to go for the iridescent from Crafter's Companion, and the little baggie that I have, I don't know where it's from, it's just iridescent stars. It might be from the nail art section, but it looks a bit big, the baggie for that, but I'm not sure, can't remember. It's been in my stash forever, they gotta go. And I think maybe there's stars in it, there's little hearts, there's all flat sequins and all kinds of sequins. And yeah, I use a metal card coin to get them off my fingers. That works really well. Just a tip for you there. You can use a normal coin as well, and as long as it's metal, it will de-stick. Because it's charge transfers. So first I'm going to put on the sequins. Seaweeds. And I did die cut a few of them, but I'm only using 2 because those are cute, and I think that's plenty of interest. 1 would have been enough, probably. And you can see it says Merry Christmas. Scraps. Yeah. Waste not, want not is what my grandma used to say. But I mean, I don't care about a little bit of paper, but I do care about the landfills, so I try to reuse them. I mean, if you can't see them, it's fine. The middle of the shaker card, I threw that away because it was smudged, and I thought, yeah, I'm not keeping that though. So it's going into the recycle bin if it can. Otherwise, landfill. I feel bad. Anyway, I'm just blabbering here. Put the lid on and press it real well and trim off whatever sticks out. That's why I say cut it roughly, and then you can always correct that. Yes, maybe if you stick it on a little bit crooked, it will stick out one side, won't it? So don't sweat too much about that, just trim it later. And to attach it to my card, I'm using tape runner. I didn't put a sentiment on it, and I was debating should I put it on the corner. It's kind of funny. It's easier than putting it straight, to be honest. And yeah, there's some liquid glue for my critters, and that's the card finished actually. The sentiment, you can write that on the inside. It's fine. Also, the seaweed I got left over, I gave that to my friend, so she can put them on the inside if she wants, or on the envelope. Doesn't matter. But there it is. Thank you for watching. I hope you will join me again soon. Until then, bye.